This is the podcast to improve your English listening skills while learning something new in English. Every episode, we bring you interesting topics in simple and clear English, so you can listen, learn, and grow. So, sit back, relax, and let's get started.
Hey there. So, thinking about adding a feathered friend to your life, are you?
Well, you've come to the right place because we're going on a deep dive today
Yeah.
into this document that you sent over, Benefits of Keeping Birds. To really explore
Right.
what it means to share your world with a bird.
Exactly. We're going to be uncovering the joys and, yes, even some of the challenges. So you can decide if bird ownership is really right for you.
Now, I know just the idea of a bird as like a true friend sounds super heartwarming, and believe me, it is. But what I found fascinating in this document is why birds are such amazing companions.
Yeah, it's more than just cuteness, although they've certainly got that covered. Birds, especially parrots, are incredibly intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
Some even rivaling a human toddler in their cognitive abilities. They crave interaction, they learn, they play, and they form genuine bonds.
So it's like having a tiny feathered roommate who can actually hold a conversation. In their own way, of course. That's a great way to put it. And those conversations can actually be good for your health. The document talks about the stress-reducing power of birdsong, and there's real science behind that.
I saw that. It's not just like enjoying pretty sounds. Apparently, birdsong can actually trigger physiological changes in us, like lowering our heart rate and blood pressure.
Precisely. Like having a built-in relaxation therapist right in your living room.
I love that.
Now, combine that with the fact that many bird species can live for decades.
Whoa, decades. So we're talking like serious long-term commitment here, like way longer than the average goldfish.
Absolutely. Think about it. You could be welcoming a creature into your life who might be with you for 20, 30, even 50 years.
Wow.
That's a powerful thing to consider.
It really puts things into perspective. But I have to ask, if we're talking about like a potential half-century commitment, what does caring for a bird actually entail? This document mentioned specialized care, but didn't go into a ton of detail.
Right, and that's where things can get interesting. The needs of a bird go far beyond just food and water. They need mental stimulation, social interaction, and environments tailored to their species.
Okay.
Think about it. A bird's instincts are honed for flight, foraging, and complex social structures.
So just sticking a bird in a cage and calling it a day is definitely not the right approach.
Not at all. Imagine a hyacinth macaw, one of the largest parrot species. In the wild, they fly miles each day foraging for specific types of palm nuts and fruits.
Wow, so replicating that in a home environment must take some serious dedication. What does that even look like?
It means understanding the nutritional nuances, like knowing they need specific clays to aid digestion. It means providing ample space for flight and exercise, not just a tiny cage. And it means enriching their environment with puzzles, foraging toys, and opportunities for social interaction.
Okay, so specialized care is starting to feel a lot more specialized. And speaking of specialized needs, the document also mentioned noise levels. I imagine a quiet little finch is a lot different from, say, a boisterous cockatoo.
You're absolutely right. A cockatoo's screech can reach over 100 decibels, which is like standing next to a running lawnmower.
Ouch! So apartment dwellers might want to think twice about certain species.
Definitely something to consider. And noise isn't the only factor. Some birds, especially the highly intelligent parrots, can be prone to behavioral issues if their needs aren't met.
The document mentioned feather plucking. Is that what you mean? That sounds pretty heartbreaking.
It is. And it's often a sign of stress, boredom, or lack of social interaction. Remember, these are creatures who, in the wild, would be engaged in complex social dynamics, foraging for food, and navigating vast territories.
So we need to provide outlets for those natural instincts, even in a domestic setting.
Exactly. Think enrichment activities like puzzle toys that hide treats, training sessions that challenge their minds, and plenty of opportunities for interaction, whether with humans or other birds.
Okay, this is all starting to paint a much more nuanced picture of bird ownership. It's not just about cuddles and cute chirps.
Right. There's so much more to it than meets the eye. It's a commitment to understanding a completely different species, meeting their complex needs, and ensuring their well-being for potentially decades to come.
And let's not forget about the financial investment involved. The document mentioned the costs of cages, food, toys, vet care. It all adds up.
Absolutely. And those costs can be ongoing for a very long time, especially if you have a larger species with specialized dietary or veterinary needs.
So for you listening in, we're really laying the groundwork here. Before you even picture a cute bird perched on your finger, you've got to think long and hard about whether you're ready for that kind of commitment.
It's not just about wanting a bird, it's about being able to provide what a bird needs to truly thrive.
It sounds like we're talking about a level of dedication that goes way beyond, say, caring for a hamster.
You're absolutely right. It's more akin to having a dog or a cat, but with the added layer of avian-specific needs.
This document you shared really stresses the importance of researching different species before making a decision. But honestly, when I think bird, I basically picture a parrot. Are there other options for someone who might be, a first-time bird owner?
Absolutely. The world of birds is incredibly diverse. Parrots are amazing, don't get me wrong, but they're definitely not a one-size-fits-all solution. Finches, for instance, are a popular choice for beginners.
Finches, those tiny colorful birds you see at pet stores?
Exactly. They're generally smaller and quieter than parrots, making them suitable for apartment living. They're also less demanding in terms of social interaction, though they do best in pairs or small flocks.
So if someone is looking for companionship, but maybe doesn't have, hours to dedicate to training and playtime, a finch could be a good fit.
Potentially, yes. They still require proper care, of course, but their needs are generally less complex than those of a larger parrot.
What about canaries? I always associate them with a beautiful singing.
Canaries are another great option. As you said, their song is incredibly melodic, and they're relatively low maintenance in terms of care. They are, however, solitary birds, so they're best suited for individuals rather than families.
So it's like finding the right personality match, just like you would with any other pet.
Precisely. And that's why research is so crucial. This document mentions the importance of considering a bird's lifespan. Some species, like certain parrots, can live for 50 years or more. Are you prepared for that kind of commitment?
Wow. 50 years, that's a huge decision.
It is, and it's not just about the time commitment, it's also about the potential for heartbreak. Outliving a pet is never easy, and with a bird who might be with you for decades, that's a very real possibility.
That's definitely something to think about. I guess it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of getting a bird. But this deep dive is really highlighting the need for a thoughtful, informed approach.
I couldn't agree more. Responsible bird ownership starts with understanding the species its needs, and the commitment involved.
So, what would you say is the most important takeaway for our listener? Someone who's genuinely intrigued by the idea of bird ownership, but wants to make sure it's the right choice.
I'd say this: don't rush into it. Take your time. Research different species. Visit breeders or rescues. Talk to experienced bird owners. And most importantly, be honest with yourself about your lifestyle, your resources, and your ability to provide for a bird's needs for many years to come.
It's like a relationship, right? You need to choose a partner who is compatible with your lifestyle and who you can see yourself growing with.
Exactly. And just like in any relationship, there will be challenges. Birds can be messy, noisy, and demanding at times. They might go through hormonal phases. They might test your patience. And they might require veterinary care that can be costly.
But despite all that, there's something magical about sharing your life with a bird, isn't there?
There truly is. Their intelligence, their beauty, their connection to the natural world. It's unlike any other pet experience.
The document mentions that birds descend from dinosaurs, which just blows my mind. It's like having a tiny dinosaur living in your house.
It's incredible, isn't it, to think that these creatures share a lineage with those prehistoric giants.
It definitely adds a whole other layer of awe and wonder to the idea of bird ownership.
It does. And it reminds us that we're not just choosing a pet. We're welcoming a creature with a rich evolutionary history and a complex set of needs into our homes and our lives.
So, for you listening in, are you starting to grasp the depth of this commitment? Are you picturing a specific type of bird in your life? Maybe a playful conure, a majestic macaw, or a sweet little finch?
Whichever feathered friend you're envisioning, the key is to go beyond the surface, dive deep into their world, understand their needs, and then, and only then, can you make a truly informed decision.
You know, even if after all this you're thinking, okay, maybe a bird isn't the right fit for me right now, that's perfectly fine.
Absolutely. Responsible pet ownership means recognizing when your lifestyle just isn't conducive to a particular animal's needs.
But that doesn't mean you can't still appreciate these incredible creatures.
Exactly. There are so many ways to connect with birds without bringing one home. Bird watching, for example. It's a fantastic way to observe them in their natural habitats.
I love that idea. It's like a real life treasure hunt, trying to spot different species, learning their calls and witnessing their amazing behaviors.
And it can be incredibly rewarding. It connects you with nature, gets you outdoors, and helps you appreciate the biodiversity of our planet.
Plus, you can't beat the price tag, free bird watching.
Right.
But speaking of connecting with birds, what about volunteering at a bird sanctuary or rescue organization?
That's another wonderful option. Sanctuaries and rescues are always in need of volunteers to help care for birds, clean cages, prepare food, and even assist with rehabilitation.
So even if you can't have a bird in your home, you can still make a difference in the lives of these amazing creatures.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe through volunteering, you'll gain the experience and knowledge to eventually welcome a bird into your life down the road.
This whole deep dive has been a real eye-opener for me. I've always loved birds, but I never really realized just how much goes into caring for them responsibly.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just putting out a bird feeder. These are complex creatures with unique needs, and they deserve our respect and understanding.
Well, I think we've given our listener a lot to think about today. Maybe you're picturing a lively cockatiel sharing breakfast with you, or a pair of finches serenading you with their sweet songs.
Or maybe you're inspired to grab a pair of binoculars and head out to a local park to do some bird watching.
Whatever path you choose, we hope this deep dive has empowered you to make an informed decision that's right for both you and the birds.
Remember, knowledge is the key to responsible pet ownership, and understanding is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, whether with a feathered friend or any other creature on this planet.
Beautifully said. So, to you listening in, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of birds. We hope you've flown away with a deeper appreciation for these remarkable creatures and a clearer vision of what it truly means to share your life with them.
Until next time, may your days be filled with the beauty and wonder of the avian world.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.